have with us Steve Chmielewski, and if you can pronounce that, that's real good. It took me a long time. I am on the MFDI board, which is the park, which used to be the Ball Diamond and that whole park area across from North Middle School. We are not the BID. The BID is the downtown, but we do collaborate with them, and but we are the MFDI. We have had three different persons who have run the park, gotten all the entertainment, done all of the activities that we have in the park. You can't hear?
A little lower. I've asked them to turn off that.
Oh, okay. I've got a mic. But my voice is kind of a mic.
We like your voice.
Can you hear me?
No.
Well, I guess I should turn it on. I need to turn it on. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So we had one person that did the BID and the MFDI park the first couple of years, and then she left, and we hired another group, and they did a wonderful job. But they've decided that they want to slow down, and one of them is going to retire and the other one is going to take it easy. She's got lots of things to do. She runs also Wauwatosa, doesn't she?
Yeah, and Thiensville.
So we hired TEC, which is the company that Steve represents. And he's going to give you a rundown of why we did this at the park, where we got the money for the park, where we're going to get the money for the next additions, and whatever else Steve wants to tell you, I guess.
Sure.
So Steve has a lot of enthusiasm. He is a bright light over at the park. So Steve Chmielewski.
Thank you. Can you hear me without the microphone? Or would you like the microphone?
We all have hearing aids.
Okay. Well, I was hoping this event would be outside today, actually. Before I talk about where I came from, you guys probably have no idea who I am. So my name is Steve Chmielewski. I've been a Falls resident for 28 years, been in my house for 25 years. And I just ended my career with the Department of Corrections after 26 years being a probation and parole agent in Milwaukee. My transition job was starting to work in the booking industry with music, booking music. And I was doing that part-time since 2019 with a company called the Entertainment Company. Then COVID hit and almost shut us out of business. And we're back. And TEC, we refer to the Entertainment Company as TEC, has been a company for 30 years. We have four full-time employees. And last October, we moved from New Berlin after 20 years to Menomonee Falls. And now we're located in the Mill Building, building with the lion on Main Street. It's a beautiful building. We're invested in this community. And it's been a pleasure to start working here. I live here. I live 2 minutes from the office now instead of a half-hour commute. I have a totally different job. And they say timing is everything in life. And, I know the predecessors who were running MFDI. We're called Menomonee Falls Events now. So we've rebranded because there was a lot of confusion with MFDI and the BID and the whole downtown thing. So I'm going to refer to us as Menomonee Falls Events, but we really are still MFDI when it comes to the legalities. So we started our transition from New Berlin to Menomonee Falls. The owner of the company, Neil Hawes, is close to the end of his career, and then we have a couple other employees that lived in Menomonee Falls. He's like, let's take a look and see what we can find. And I've been a cheerleader for the Falls for a long time. My wife is a high school teacher. She's in her 28th year. And so we moved the company to this building. We got extremely lucky that there was an opening. We have the whole second floor. It's gorgeous. And all of a sudden, and I had been working with Rob Koss. He was the one that was running MFE for the last couple of years. And I've known him for years. And we found out that he was going to step aside. And so we threw our hat in the ring for this position. And at that time, I'm still working full-time for the Department of Corrections, and we took on this contract of running the parks and several events in the downtown area, which forced my hand to leave my job a year early because we got busy. And it's a good busy, but we're learning as we go with some of this park management stuff, and it's been a really good experience for the company. I just started full-time with them 3 weeks ago. I'm in my 4th week working full-time for these guys. But I've known them for years. They're friends of mine. We've gotten to know all these businesses in downtown Menomonee Falls. And my voice is hoarse today because we just finished our event season last weekend. We had Falls Festival of the Arts in Main Street, and I was talking all day and running around. And we had the last Sunset concert series the Thursday before. So we're on the downswing now. But let me tell you how this all got started. MFDI, or MFE as we refer to it now, started in 2020. The park was built with impact, was built and redeveloped with park impact fees, tax incremental funds, and tourism funds. There was a major fundraising effort by the Optimist Club. They raised up $1.1 million to help build the park. And they're a big player. They've been awesome. The popcorn wagon's there, and they're there every night. And it's just a great spot. People go there and hang out in the park. And the goal was to get people to come downtown. That's why they started this organization, which is a nonprofit. It's a private nonprofit organization. So the money always will go back to the village for infrastructure, for whatever it may be, wherever it's needed. So that's kind of where the money comes from. To date, about $11 million has been spent towards that park. Milwaukee Tool came in with the naming rights to the stage to the tune of a lot of money as a community business partner when they moved part of their operations to Menomonee Falls a couple of years ago. So that's kind of where Menomonee Falls events started. And now we're in the 3rd incarnation, I guess, of leadership. And just like RKE, which is Rob Koss's company, has a team approach, we do as well. So I might be here talking to you, but there's some people behind the scenes doing work too. It's a big job. Our main events in Village Park, we have Falls Memorial Fest, which is, you guys are familiar with that? That's been around here for 8 years now? It's a very well-oiled machine. Dave Glasinski, if you know Dave, I think some of you all know Dave. He's the brains behind that operation. They do such a great job with that event, but now we manage that event as well. And that's our first major event of the year in May, which we've been lucky with the weather. I think there's only been 1 year in the 8 years that weather has been a problem. And then we also offer 3 movie nights in the park. And thanks to Chris and Mark Fitzgerald, the village has invested in a huge movie screen, and we're bringing in thousands of people to the village. It's a very family-friendly event. We do 3 of these every summer. May, June, and July were this year, and we're going to continue that into next year. And every Wednesday we have the beer garden, which we share. It kind of overlaps with the farmers market, which is every Wednesday in the park. And I don't know if you guys have been to the farmers market lately, but it's incredible, and it's growing and it's booming. So, they're running from the early afternoon till 6, and we start at 5:30, and we collaborate really well with the farmers market, and we have live music, and we sell beer. Because that's what we do. And the good thing is too, now we're able to sell wine as well because the state law has changed. So you guys, I'm here at the right time too, because tomorrow is the last beer garden date of the season, because we are going to be completely renovating that part of the park and building a permanent structure. It's going to be a state-of-the-art permanent structure. We hope to break ground in early October. And all that money comes from the money that people spend at the park during these events that we put on. So it's important that we get people to go there. The other component to what we do with Menomonee Falls events is the park rentals. There's a lot of events going on in the parks all the time. The village wants us to rent the park out, so we're the gatekeeper for that as well. On MenomoneeFallsDowntown.com, there is a park rental process. So if you're, say, with a church and you want to have your service at the park, you can fill out the application, we review it for a very small fee. Like last weekend, we had 3 private park rentals in that park. We had a cultural India Fest, we had a church service, and then we had a Legacy Gym was there doing a demonstration. So the park was in use all weekend. This summer, I believe we had in excess of 30 park rentals at Village Park. And that doesn't include the 6 summer concert series, the 3 movie nights, Falls Memorial Fest, Kids Fest. So I'm sure you've noticed that the park has been in heavy use. So I started, back to me for a second, if that's okay. I got involved in this through my passion for music. And I was in a band for a long time, and I got involved working part-time for that booking agency that I work for now, TEC. And when MFDI started in 2020, they wanted to have a concert series. And I saw that they built that beautiful stage, and I'm like, I want in on this. And this is how I joined the Optimist Club. I'm like, at the time, I think Paul Glasgow was president. I was just trying to figure out how to get involved as a volunteer. And joined the Optimist Club. Talked to Todd Paulus, talked to Todd, talked to Dave, get involved. All of a sudden we start a committee, we start this concert series, and I'm a volunteer in the committee for 3 years. And it's successful. I mean, it's arguably our most successful series that we have in that park. It's the 2nd and 4th Thursday, June, July, and August. And we just had our last one last Thursday. It was quite successful. So I started as a volunteer with the Sunset Concert Series, and that's really kind of how I got involved in all this. And then eventually, with all that experience, learning under the tutelage of Rob and all the people that are involved in this village, and Mark Fitzgerald's been open and progressive about doing things downtown, and it's been fantastic to work with. And I have to mention, too, Falls Festival of the Arts, the event that we just had at Main Street did any of you guys go to it? Were you aware of it? Yeah, there was thousands of people there, and we had Main Street blocked off from Appleton Avenue down the water, much like Falls Memorial Fest, but also the festival extended north to Roosevelt through Mill Pond Park. There were over 120 art vendors from all over the state and the region that showed up. So it wasn't like Falls Memorial Fest, more of a music, beer drinking crowd. It was just a different, more chill atmosphere with a lot of people selling their art. It was just really cool. And that was the first year it was ever on the street. So the year before it was in the park. They've had it in the past for a couple days. And this year we decided that we're gonna do it one day on the street. And I can't tell you enough how much the village has been receptive and helpful. The police, the fire, the village hall staff. There's probably 20 cops there on Saturday just making sure everything went well. And working with our village hall staff with the permitting process. There's a lot that goes on to these events that a lot of people don't know. With closing a road, especially Main Street in your downtown, is quite a task. And I had good teachers that teach us how to do that. And the people that I have to go through to get the job done, they're so helpful. This village is really lucky to have a lot of these professionals working here. So that was our first time in our position that we took over in March, okay? So we've only been here since March of this year, and we are transitioning for this year until we are gonna be all alone. So and it seems kind of scary, but it's really not. We've learned quick, kind of thrown into the fire. So these festivals are great. I think we're probably at our capacity for festivals in this town, maybe. I don't know, we'll see. Did any of you guys get to any of the events at the park this year? None? Not even the Britons? No.
We sold $1,400 worth of popcorn.
Yes.
1,400.
We sold out of popcorn on Thursday too for Chase and Mason at the concert. So,
They beat us.
did you look at the numbers, Sue?
We had 15.
Well, that's a good problem, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys have any questions for me about?
What are they doing on the corner there?
Oh, yeah, that's Centennial Park. They're totally revamping that area. It's going to be another beautiful park. I don't really have anything to do with that. That's more of a downtown thing. Yeah, That's where the beer gardens originated. So it's going to be a showcase. Yeah, they're not going to go back there, but it's going to be another place for the downtown businesses to have events. It's going to be beautiful. It should be done by, I would say spring, but I'm not in the know with that. It's more a village project. So.
It was cute.
Thinking it's gonna have like shaded areas.
It's gonna have a shade
And
area.
picnic
Oh,
tables.
it needs that.
And a little bit more seating area than they had before. And it just needed an upgrade.
What'd they do with that chair? That was cute.
The chair's on the bridge, right across the street from A.J. O'Brady's. It's actually a better location. People, with the chocolate factory coming, the chocolate factory has been an amazing addition to this village, and the foot traffic down there is incredible. So that chair is like, it's right next door to it on the bridge. So, and I work right across the street, so I'm constantly seeing people taking their pictures down there, and people are coming here now as a destination, like a downtown destination, and that's the vision of the village, is to bring more people in here, you bring economic vitality, and everybody wins. And we haven't had any issues this summer with any of these events in terms of nobody's gotten hurt. Everybody's had a great time. Very little complaints. It's just been a really good situation. And like I said before, timing was everything. And I was in the right place in my career where we could throw our hat in the ring and try to get this contract with the village, which we did. We were lucky enough to do it. And working with people like Sue and the Menomonee Falls Events Board, who are all volunteers, and they volunteer their time all the time to help us put on these events. And we answer to them. So they're our boss. But everybody on that board they love Menomonee Falls. Almost all of them live here or have businesses here. For me, my only concern about doing a job like this is I live here and I have to answer to all the people that I see every day, everywhere. I can't just go escape to Mequon, right? That's where I was raised in Mequon. So when you work where you live, it takes on a whole new level of responsibility. So, and pride. And so, we brought my wife Tara, who's, like I said before, is a high school art teacher. She's our marketing director, and she's done a great job with this. And it's like I said, it's been a trying summer. It's been busy. I'm ready for September. She went back to school this week, and now I got to start bringing the dog to the office because she's lonely. So. And we do have a dog-friendly office, which is great. Our landlord, if you guys are familiar with Steve Romagna from Romagna Wealth Management, they're housed in the third level of the mill building. You guys need to stop by this building and check it out. It was built in 1891. It was the old historic mill building. And a lot of the original features are still left there. They did a great job. I believe it was fully remodeled in 2000-ish. And Steve bought the building during the COVID period of time. And it's just been, for us to be able to get into that building and make a statement and be involved in the bid too, and working with Michelle Free and Layla, who owns Poppy and Time. We have a really great relationship with them, and the goal is to bring business downtown, bring people downtown, and help these companies thrive. And so that's really the bottom line goal of why they set up MFDI. It's before I was even involved. At this point, I just answer to the board, and they're always receptive to new ideas. You guys have any other questions?
Are the businesses happy with what has been brought in? And question number 2, do you have any festivals up your sleeve for winter?
Ooh. We do not. So the park is going to be officially closed down after this week. The bid has events. They already had Maxwell Street Days. I don't have the list in front of me, but if you go to MenomoneeFallsDowntown.com, they're all on there. They do a bunch. They'll do like a wine tour. They do a bunch of smaller events on the Main Street area throughout the fall. We are not currently planning on any winter events just because it's in the park and nobody wants to be outside in the winter in the park. But it's not to say we won't do it in the future though. We're open to anything. We just have to have a venue. But what you'll see next spring when the new beer garden opens, it's going to be quite incredible to see that, and it's going to be a nice space for people. Are you familiar with how it looks now with the 2 train containers? So we're going to repurpose those and use them for either storage or maybe a backstage area, hopefully. So we have some plans. A lot of things have to come together in the next couple weeks, but everything looks full steam ahead with the construction. Sue?
I just thought maybe you'd like to know, when Steve was talking about where we got the money, he talked about tourism dollars. Well, in the state of Wisconsin, there's, and many of you probably know this, but there are taxes on your hotel rooms. And those taxes go back to the village, and they have to be used for tourism. So that's why this was a perfect place to put some of those tourism dollars. The chamber gets some, not a whole lot of money from the tourism dollars, because they are supposed to be our tourism spot that people can go and find out what's going on in Menomonee Falls. However, Michelle Fry has pretty much taken over the downtown on that, and you can stop at her office and pick up brochures about what's happening. I just have to mention that last year we had 10,000 people at Kids Fest, was it? Is what they're figuring?
I was going to say 5, but it was.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not good at the number thing. Chris might know better.
The drone shots looked like there was several thousand people.
That park is really estimated to hold 4,000 people. We've touched that a few times with some big events. It's a bigger park than you think. It spreads out, and Kids Fest this year rivaled that. The numbers were incredible. Brought in a national headliner for Kids Fest last year. Her name was Lori Berkner, and from New York. And I couldn't believe the turnout for that. She was a total rock star. Just a solo artist up there, and people were camping out at 9 in the morning just to get a good spot for her. And that really put that event on the map. And this year we did a Taylor Swift theme and had a tribute band from Milwaukee play, which turned out very nice as well. We'd made some changes to the footprint of the festival. We put the food court in the parking lot instead of in the park, which gave people a place to eat and sit and relax. And we had a big 30 by 30 foot tent out there. And it was just really well put together. And a lot of this stuff was set in place when I got here. We had to do some tweaks and finish some vendor stuff off. But we have committees behind every one of these events. There's a committee of citizens that chip in and help and volunteer. And so this isn't just decisions that we make. We create committees of usually 5 to 6 to 7 people, and we get together every month on all these. We have a beer garden committee, we have a Kids Fest committee, we have a Sunset Concert Series committee, Falls Memorial Fest, Falls Festival of the Arts. It can go on. There's a committee for everything, and it's because we want people's feedback. Because these are mostly business owners in town, and they're the boots on the ground people that really have a beat on what's going on and what people want. So that's what really helps make it successful. You can't just make these decisions unilaterally without other input. So it can make things take longer. I worked for the government for 26 years. I know how that works. When you have levels of bureaucracy, Sue knows this, but you need checks and balances at some point. So the way it's set up right now it was very well done and thought out. So I don't imagine much changing in the next few years in terms of what we're doing. I do imagine that what we are doing is going to get better. Like I said, just living in this town for 28 years now, I've lived here more than half my life now. So now I'm officially Menomonee Falls. And so I've always loved my hometown, but this is my hometown now. And this will be my first and only house. I've been in my house for 25 years, and our daughter graduated from Menomonee Falls High School in 2017, so we're empty nesters. And my wife's close to retiring, and I left my job, and so we are in this. So you're stuck with us for a while, most likely. So you guys have any other questions? Yeah.
Who selects the food trucks?
Ha, so, good
They're
question.
good choices, by the way, but
We're always open to, yeah, so there is a food vendor application on the website, so people will go on there and apply, and then we actually will choose the food trucks or the vendors. And through the course of this year, we've learned who's easy to work with, who's not, what people like, who wants to come back, who doesn't. So I can't even tell you how many different vendors we deal with, and they all have to be obviously licensed through whatever municipality they are, and that's a whole nother process of dealing with that, insurance, all that stuff. But we are always interested to hear who you like, because we are going to lock down these vendors early for next year, and some will be back, some might not. It's hard to say, but if you're looking for something specific, now is probably the time to shoot. I have some business cards out here. I'll leave them with you guys. Feel free to email me, text me. I don't know if I'll answer the call, but no. If Sue calls, I answer it. My phone's always on silent, so emails and texts are good, but I will answer your call. But no, we want feedback from everybody. What you'd like to see in the park, what you don't like maybe. I mean, it's sometimes hard to hear that, but you have to hear that to be successful. Did someone else have a question?
I'm going back to when you asked the whole group who had been to the park for this event or that, and nobody raised their hand. Well, looking at the age of people here, one thing that I've noticed with my friends and others, the parking and having to walk.
For the bigger events, we have 2 adjacent parking lots at Village Park that get filled up really quick. So, and it's something to think about in the future with possibly like a shuttle service or something like that. And certainly, anytime you have events in a downtown area, parking is going to be an issue. You go to Cedarburg, Summer Sounds, people are parking in Saukville. And Tosa has the same issue. And so when you throw 3,000 people into a park, that they're all driving one car. So carpool for sure. But yeah, those are ideas that we're looking into in the future of making it more accessible, other than getting there super early. So yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah, in fact, I was gonna suggest, having looked into, like when we used to have Cherry and you could shuttle in.
Mm-hmm.
And it is difficult for some people to even just
For sure.
walk from that parking lot or that parking space, so that might be something to look at.
Yeah.
I like it.
I don't know if you're familiar, we used to have the hospital when it was Community Memorial, we'd have Cherry.
Yep, I remember that.
Fall.
Yep.
And so some of us here were just chatting about, is there any, the park for you is closed down from this coming week, and that's it, nothing in fall?
Well, there's nothing planned. Well, farmers markets will continue to go. We're not doing any special events just because of construction on the beer garden portion. Like the amphitheater and the lawn will still be open for people to use. The splash pad's going to remain open as long. I think they close it Labor Day weekend.
I've considered going there just in the last 2 days by myself.
Oh, I know. I was just going to run through it the other day on my way to work.
Shuttle was from the Y.
From the Y? Well, so the YMCA are huge partners of ours too, and Aaron Miller, the director there, he's on the MFDI board, he's on the executive board, and he's...
At the time we were parking in the field too.
Yeah, and I know they're looking at some more parking in the Village Park area. There's a vacant lot of land that's on a kind of a slope that they're looking at.
The old school too, where they took that school down on Menomonee.
Oh, at Thomas Jefferson? The one at, yeah. So that's owned by the school district, I believe?
The high
Shuttle
school,
there.
the high school has huge parking lots
No.
that we can shuttle.
High school is busy.
I like that feedback though. I mean, it's something that, and what,
I think, let me just ask one other thing. So when you're doing your marketing, really primarily the way to realize what's happening and occurring is on the website, and then you had a sign out there, right?
yeah, there's a marquee out there. And there's a marquee in front of Village Hall and in front of the park.
That
Yep.
would be helpful.
Yep.
Because not everyone goes on the internet.
I know. So we've done a lot of print media too this year. So we advertise Menomonee Falls Express News, whatever we can. So yeah, we understand that not everybody's internet savvy. I'm not even that internet savvy, actually.
We need a 5-year-old.
Right.
There also is the current.
Yeah.
The current is actually the Menomonee Falls newspaper. And you can get it online. It's also printed. I think what we should do is distribute those more around the.
Yeah, and we've advertised in that. We've taken out advertising in the current this year for several events. What we also do is put together, between us and the bid, we put together a flyer of the whole year of events at once, and we distribute those throughout the village. And that's something that we could get your way. And you guys have like a common area over there?
Steve, I'm the editor of the newsletter.
Okay.
And possibly if we could have one of those flyers, I could put it in the newsletter.
Absolutely.
So then everybody, we have 88 units, so they would all get it.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll
and
talk.
Just as a community, and I've been in our community in Menomonee Falls 35 years. And so as we start to age, and there is a really large population that may be over 50 now. That wasn't.
Well, anything we can do to accommodate, we will try our best. I mean, and I'm touching 50 now too, so yeah. So. Anybody else? We good? All right. Hopefully the food will be here soon. Thank you guys for your attention. I've got business cards up here. If you guys have questions, call me, email me, whatever. I'll leave them up here for y'all. And thanks again.